I had like the whole I like the whole hoodlum movie and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's why, that's why I had got from Lucky Luciano and all that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I like it. Yeah, so that's a cool story, man. You also mentioned your family and your aunt and your Uncle Joe with the Sugar Hill. What was it like growing up around that type of influence? And I guess there's probably a lot of influential rappers and creators in your...
I got a chance to meet everybody. You know, I don't want to minimize it and act like, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it was I'm there every day. I was there every day. It's weird. It's a weird situation, but no, they didn't work with me as an artist. But I did get to, I was too young. I knew the Sugar Hill Gang my whole life, and I knew like Naughty by Nature when they was New Style. They had got a record deal over there. I met Missy Elliott before she blew up. I got a chance to, but I lived in Bergen County. So even if I wasn't meeting people through them, Bergen County, New Jersey, we're right across the bridge from New York. So everybody's out here. You get a check in the music industry. As soon as you get rich, you move to Jersey. So, I mean, everybody's here from Little Kim to, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. I mean, it's like, you go through the mall, bump into Cassidy, Lady Luck, so it's just everybody's around here.
That's just, yeah. So you basically just kind of, you're in the environment, so it wasn't anything outstanding to you just growing up in the space, being around that, just regular life. That's cool, though. Not everybody lives in, I guess, an area that is so saturated by that kind of talent, so...
definitely didn't want to take it for granted. Definitely.
Yeah. So that's really cool.
But it's a gift. It's a gift and a curse, though, because just like in the Bible with Jesus, like he's telling people he had to go perform miracles outside of where he's from, because if he did it where he's at, they're like, oh, that's just Jesus. So it's cool to grow up around these people, but they're like, oh, that's just luck, So it's like sometimes you have to, it's cool. It's a gift and a curse to be around everybody, but to
absolutely
work and get your stuff going, you got to go outside your comfort zone.
So when did you feel like you were actually able to like go away from your circle and kind of establish yourself as an artist on your own? Do you remember that moment?
I was doing that my whole life. I never depended on Sugar Hill. I went over there, I would record sessions with people that were their artists, or the first song I ever did was at the studio, but it's late night. My uncle snuck me in there. It's not like they were. It's not. Shout out to them. I love them. It's no beef in that, but it's not like they were like, yo, we're gonna put our niece on and we're gonna blow. So I've always been like that. I've always been the outspoken one. Yo, you gotta hear me rap. You gotta hear this. So that's how I was always that person.
Dope. But when did you know? Like, was there a time that you remember that you kind of had this feeling like this is what I got to do?
My whole life. I mean, you can ask anybody. I've been outgoing my whole life. So ever since my mom wrote my first rap, because when she came home one night, my mom is the reason. My mom is the reason why hip hop is on the radio. Like Aunt Sylvia and them had the bag, so they like Pablo Escobar. They had the drugs, but my mom was Griselda Blanco. She convinced the DJs to play it on the radio. So shout out to her. She just called me. She's an icon. But she came home late night from promoting records, and I'm like, Ma, I want to rap. So she wrote my first rap. And ever since then, everybody who would listen to me, I would rap for them, my whole life.
Wow.
I mean, I have some great defining moments that's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm on the right path of things, or just the recognition that I've got from, but I've always been outgoing.
Speaking of some of the recognition you got, I know that you were heavy involved in the battle rap scene for over a decade easily. And most recently, you were able to kind of headline a all-female card. How do you feel about right now the current landscape of women in battle rap? Because I do see a big surgence on women getting a little bit more exposure as far as some of the bigger rap platforms or rap battle platforms. What's your take on that event that went down, and what you see in the current state of battle rap and hip hop?
It's funny you asked that. Babs Bunny just called, the owner of the Queen of the Ring thing. I just texted. I'm on interview.
Dope. Shout out to
I have never been like active in the battlefield, you know, like keep battling every battle, you know. I come back every 5-10 years and have a battle. Personally, it was just, how do I feel about it now? I'm glad a lot of the girls are getting recognition. I still think like they still treat it like the WNBA, you know, the difference between what's going on. I definitely feel like, but they like, you know, they were just supposed to have the Kings versus Queens this weekend that just passed, but due to COVID, you know, whatever, they have to reschedule. But I definitely see, you know, the platform being opened up.
Dope.
That's cool. And speaking of like platforms opening up, I know you're in music, but you also have some connections and working partnerships, I guess, in television as well. Can you tell us kind of about that and how the transition from music led to TV opportunities?
It's just all God, and I give all glory to God. I honestly, any opportunity that I have right now, anything that is going on that is working in my life, you gotta remember it's a pandemic, and this is a time where a lot of things aren't good for people, and I'm truly thankful. You know, I've had a rough 2 decades, so for doors to be opening for me right now, it's just like, you know, it's an extreme blessing. But again, I had the show on Bravo with my family. We did a show, First Family Hip Hop. It was on 2017. And then the relationships that I built from there just kept going. So one of the ladies who was a producer on there, now she's executive producer over here, and she asked me for music one day for one of the shows. I didn't know what she wanted, so I sent her like 5-6 songs. And she gave me the idea. She was like, well, why don't you do this? And I didn't know anything about it. I'm still learning. Like last night, I figured out something that makes my life easier, because it's a lot of administration work. And when you're used to smoking weed and being careless, just have to spit 16 bars, you know, it's definitely different. So, you know, I'm in a lot of different ventures right now. That's just lucrative. And I just thank God for just opening different doors where it's not just, you have to be pigeonholed in one thing. Because if that's not working, life gets depressed.
Absolutely. And it sounds like you are definitely a hustler, but what kind of advice would you give to a female in the industry right now that's trying to kind of make her way in the rap game specifically? Because I find that's really tough, and women do tend to get pigeonholed in the industry. So do you have any advice as to how women can maybe navigate the industry, and maybe also, like you had just said, options as to exploring other things outside of rap?
I definitely encourage. I'm sorry, I just got some free clothes from Cult Individuality, so I was just pushing it.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Cult. Shout out Cult Individuality. Shout out my guys. I would just say the advice I would give is just to make sure that you stay centered, you know, within yourself. Prayer and meditation is very important.
As a podcaster, you know that great content is only half the battle. The other half is finding the right hosting platform to reach your audience. That's where Captivate comes in. With unlimited podcasts, advanced analytics, and personalized support, Captivate has everything you need to grow your audience and monetize your show. Join the thousands of successful podcasters just like us who trust Captivate for their hosting needs. Visit dnaairwaves.com/captivate today to start your free trial.